right? It's really, really important. Let's move on. And this leads us to, the whole idea of warming up and what it means. So, why do we need to warm up? I think there's been a lot of chat about going to the gym and nutrition and stuff. The social side is not much different, to be honest. I look at day gaming a little bit in the first hour or so. It's like, if I go to the gym, I don't start off with the biggest weights I can handle. I go for the weights that perhaps lead to those weights I can handle. So I'm starting off with the smaller weights, and then I'm building up. And that's the sort of thing I think you want with day game, where you're going out and you're heedful of the fact that, right, I need to warm up. I've been at my computer or whatever, and, I need to limber up these social muscles. So whatever it may be, there's to this day, I might use an opinion opener which is goes completely against my ethical day game standards in terms of opening up girls and the way it should be done. But if I need to warm up, I need to warm up. I've got no ego about it, and have a bit of fun, make sure you leave the girl with a good bit of vibe, and that's all that counts. And during my warming up times, I've had women tell me, in their 30s and stuff, girls up that I'm not into, I've seen a nice floral dress about her person, and I've just gone in and just gone, oh, you know what, I just love your dress, and I think you look beautiful today. And she's gone, oh my God, you've just made my week. And that's just me through me warming up. How beautiful is that? So the practice of it can be very, very simple as well. I'm talking opinion openers. Shop girls are amazing. You've got in Melbourne, and I'm sure you have all over the world if you're watching this online, you've got department stores everywhere. Shop girls just bored out of their heads because there's not, they're just they've got a stand by these things they're about to sell. And you can just go over and just strike up any old conversation. Don't go for the number. That's just a bit, you're fobbing them off a little bit if you do go for the number. Don't go for the number. Just appreciate that you need to warm up. So the first 10 sets, I would say, minimum, especially if you're first starting out, the first 10 should be throwaways. Right, I'm going to do 10, get it out of the way, and then I'm going to concentrate on actually, practicing what I'm about to tell you. Right, visualization, just a few things that really help me out. I'm not a very spiritual person or anything like that. I'm a beautiful man from Tottenham in London. It's a bit of a hovel, and I've never, ever, had any spiritual inclinations, but visualizing is ridiculously potent. It's unbelievable. I have had moments where I've visualized certain looks. I've visualized the hair. I've visualized the sort of girl that I want in the next few days. And I've constantly just visualized it. And I've visualized taking her back. I visualized that she ends up on my bed. I meet her on the street, and she beautifully ends up on my bed, right? And it happens. More often than not, it just happens. I meet that particular type of girl, and for some reason, because my energy has been flooding towards that intention, things just kick off. I just can't help it. So it's great. Sometimes I even forget that I've kind of been visualizing all that. I just sort of visualize it and I leave it there. And a few days later, I just happen to bump into that situation that I've been visualizing. It's absolutely ridiculous. So that really, really helps me. This one here, oneness. I should do the laser thing. Oneness from within to without. Again, a bit of a spiritual thing that I do. That it comes back to warming up and how effective it can be. Because at first, it's like any activity. The best tennis player in the world, Roger Federer, he still has to go onto a tennis court, even in the first round of, a rubbish competition. He still has to warm up. Still has to warm up for 2 hours. This guy's played more tennis than anyone else, right? No ego about it. he just has to, he's not one with the racket. He's just woken up. He's played yesterday, but he's woken up today. He's not one with the racket. And you could be a surfer. You could be a didgeridoo player. I know I'm being a bit Australian specific here, just for you lot. But what I'm saying is, like, you've got to be one with whatever you're dealing with. And if you're not one, it all comes back down to, are you warming up, yes or no? And, you know, that whole oneness thing, I still wake up and I'm not one with talking to women, with talking to sometimes my own mates. I'm just not you know when your brain is just, there's a disconnect? When you first wake up in the morning, you know, you've made coffee with that same espresso every day and you're just like, fuck, I've missed out putting any espresso in there and I've just gone for the power button. You know, those days, it's kind of like that. You just need to warm up and there's nothing wrong with it, you know. If anything, if you do it in a beautiful way, it just adds to your life and it adds to other people's lives. So definitely make use of it. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about that place you reach. We all have it. It's usually at the end of the day. Is that a surprise? No, because we've warmed up, right? Where you become one with the way you act. It's really, really important. Now, I touched up on this, but I'm going to go over it again. Long-term versus short-term improvement. What I mean by that, as I said, in day game, there's so many like highs. Like, I think a lot of people don't keep to day game. Very few people I know that actually stay the course and become really good at it because it involves such hard work. Now, there are two graphs going on, I think, in your improvement trajectory, just in life generally. And the first graph is where you're affected by anything, like during the day. So if I tell you, oh mate, you might be just walking around and you see $50 on the floor, and you say, oh, all right, that's just affected you for 5 minutes, hasn't it? You go, oh, that's like goaded you up a little bit. I've won $50 out of nowhere. That's beautiful. But that doesn't affect you as a long-term person. Do you see what I mean? That has no like long-lasting effect unless you just, you know, master the art of winning $50 every day. You hang out at the right spots every day. That has no robbing grannies. Just one example. But what I'm saying is that has no long-term effect on how you're going to end up as a man. These isolated incidents. It's the same with day game. Like the first number you get, the first few like amazing vibes you get has no sort of effect on your long-term status. Your core is still your core. This is why day game needs years. Because you're developing that other bit of line that goes up very slowly, that other line, that core, that doesn't get affected very easily. The little highs don't really in the short term have no effect on it. So what you've got to watch out for is, and appreciate, is the fact that you're developing but slowly. Yeah, sure, you've had a high or you've had a low, but that's when it's like if you zoom out from that, that's going like that, but very slowly. Very slowly, it's going up. It's not that, it's that. This, it's not that. So in the long term, it means nothing. So yeah, the longer, like, I always thought, 3 years into it, I thought I had it sussed. And now 3-4 years later, I couldn't, like, if I look back, I mean nothing. Not nothing, but you know what I mean. You know, you just develop in a richer way. What's beautiful about day games, you do it on your own watch. You do it anytime, anywhere. I've had crazy, crazy experiences that I couldn't even sort of like dream of, to be honest. Just through day game. And just through going out there and time again, failing, getting up, dusting myself off, going at it again. And I'm going to show you a clip in a bit where it's a bit surreal. She gives me a really good interaction, but I've had 100 fails before that to get to that level.